Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the conference Future of Jobs in Europe. I am Alenka Oblak, and together we will dive into forefront of today's situation of workers, how we are affected by labor market, globalization, public administration, our own ambitions, and map some possibilities for the future. It is important to understand before preparing strategies, solutions, and this conference is an opportunity for that. It's organized by European Liberal Forum, by the Novum Institute and Polygon, within Ralph Dahrendorf round this table discussions on emerging and social issues. And the organizers will introduce us to the topic of the conference. So first I'm inviting Felicita Medved, President of European Liberal Forum.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it is my pleasure then on behalf of the Board of Directors of the European Liberal Forum and in my own name, I can wish you a warm welcome to this Ralph Dahrendorf Roundtable. Now, the European Liberal Forum, or ELF as we like to call it, is a non-profit political foundation tasked with a very wide and ambitious mandate of contributing to the democratic development of the European public sphere and also of promoting liberalism, liberal ideas and policies. We consist now of almost 40 think tanks, institutes, political foundations, all across the European Union. And I'm very glad that I can welcome among us one of our key speakers, Professor Paquet, who is the Vice President of our most important members, the Friedrich Naumann Foundation for Freedom. But also collaborating with the ALDE party and the young liberals in Europe, European Liberal Youth or LIMEC, this variety and diversity of our membership enable us to promote active citizenship, particularly with regard to young Europeans. And I'm happy that also Secretary General of LIMEC, Igor Caldera, is here. Now, this diversity also provides us for exchange of knowledge, experience, to reflect and debate over a wide range of topics. For example, we had in the last 2 years a series of discussions on TTIP, on Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, in almost all European countries, not yet in Slovenia. Or we had a series of events on issues of migration and how to resist populist far-right parties and movements in Europe. So our activities, seminars, conferences, workshops, but also publications, and you are welcome to download them free on our website, enable us to become specifically in collaboration with the ALDE group in the European Parliament, the Committee of Regions, the Council of Europe, as well as with liberals in national parliaments, that we can become more active on European, national, regional and local levels. And I see that we have also some members of the Parliament of the Republic of Slovenia here, so warm welcome. Now, we recently, within ELF, concentrated our resources on 4 main areas. And this is finding liberal solutions for the European economy, promoting the rule of law, and thinking about the future of Europe. As well as we are building capacities to strengthen European liberal dimension. Of course, you might ask, what is liberalism and what is to be a liberal in the 21st century? And rethinking liberalism is a process in which liberals in Europe, but also beyond, are very much involved. Not long ago, Julie Minoves, the president of the Liberal International, when addressing our General Assembly, was saying, I quote, "A liberal is not a libertarian, and a liberal is not a neoliberal. A liberal conceives of individuals as repositories of freedom to pursue their happiness, but not on the expense of the liberty of others, and certainly not at the expense of future generations. Liberals do not play a zero-sum game." End of quote. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in an era of transition to a future of which we do not yet know its name. The very venue in which this roundtable on the future of workers in Europe takes place points to a need for great transformation. The place was a tobacco factory which opened in the early 20th century. It employed 8% of women of Ljubljana, who were the only workers, apart from the policemen, firemen, and postmen, that were entitled to pensions. It also had a kindergarten, and in many ways contributed to empowerment of workers and emancipation of women in particular. Hundreds of years after, this place has been transformed into a co-working space for and by creative freelancers. In one of the ELF events we had here in Slovenia, Professor Guy Standing talked about precariat as an emerging mass class characterized by inequality, insecurity, and uncertainty. He discussed how the rights, political, civil, social, and economic, have been denied to this class, which he called the new dangerous class. He expressed his very strongly held view that every age has its stupidity in saying what is work and what is not work. Our age since the 20th century is among the most stupid of all, because what we do with our social policy, labor statistics, our rhetorics, is that anything not labor is not counted as work. One of the reforms, he says, and I agree, all of us should demand from our governments should be to measure work rather than just labor. Lord Dahrendorf, after whom this series of roundtables are named, a scholar, a politician, who consistently promoted the role of the EU as a guarantor of human rights and liberty, also focused on class, power structures, and social inequality. He saw that our economic progress produced essentially, if I simplify a little, on the one hand, citizen class, and on the other, the marginalized underclass. He talked about life chances or choices for everyone, and that social order or social structure has to offer a combination of a breadth of wide range opportunities and sense of citizenship for all. He argued that the modern citizens must recognize unambiguous social rights to free people from insecurity, to ensure their education, and that they must not be allowed that their incomes would fall below a certain level. Such rights, he argued, needed to be removed from party politics and constitutionally enshrined. I would thus suggest that we're talking about the future of work and workers in debating initiatives and strategies, within the active labor market policy. In order to give real solutions, we would need a progressive and genuinely liberal agenda to form the vision of a society, of good society, and redefine our social contract around notions of liberty, equality, agency, and our commons. Before I leave the podium, I would like to thank my colleagues in the Institute Novum, the Slovenian member of the European Liberal Forum, Sebastian Pikl, also Alja Stanko, for all the work they have put into the realization of today's event. I would also like to express my appreciation to Polygon Creative Center, to Luka Pirkovic, Eva Perčić, Marko Orel, Gaja Mežnarič Osole, not only for offering this co-working environment for this event, but also for the energy they have given into the project on the future of workers in Europe, proving that freelancers are not only free, but they can be empowered when they sharpen their lancers. I hope you enjoy this debate. Thank you.